Well, it's just after 12:30 on a Wednesday afternoon. I've just finished work for the Easter holidays, so I'm nipping away for a night or two, possibly to the usual club lake in Nards that I go to, just for a couple of days. Then I'm going to spend a few days with family over Easter, and then hopefully get out again with my dad for a day or two after Easter Monday, Easter Tuesday. So I'm going to do a bit of video documentation on the bank. The last couple of sessions have been a bit short, just with the lack of time that I've had to work. So hopefully in this session I will have a bit more time. I'm not overly that fussed about catching, it's a bonus, but it's just great to actually have a session where I'm not in a rush to pack up. However, on the Friday morning my wife has her MOT, so if I decide to stay 2 nights, I'll have to be back quite sharpish to make sure I'm helping to get the car ready. She needs a few tyres and bits and pieces, so we'll see what the next few days brings. But I hope you have been enjoying the videos that have been put out on the channel. If you haven't already, if you wouldn't mind dropping the video a wee like and hitting that subscribe button as well, as there's lots of footage to come up in the next couple of weeks to months, including hopefully a good big feature-length film in France, which I hope will show a lot of lumps on the bank. So I shall see you in a bit when we get to the lake, okay? Well, here we are at the lake. I've just parked the car and before the side what swim I'm going in. There's no cars in the car park. I'm just going to check if anybody's here, and then have a wee recce, see where is best to pick a swim. So far so good. Remember to close the gates behind us. In terms of what you have to go at here with the 4 pegs that are along this bank, you're practically sort of straight in front of you with 2 rods. I mean, you're veering left to the right and you're into somebody else's water. At peg 4 there you have a bay, so that is your water into the bay. Then in 3 you're around the point that I'm at here. Peg 2 is into that bay there, and peg 1 you're kind of out in front of you, because the new peg over there is fishing to the corner point there, and then you've got the 2 oaks pegs up there and fishing to the far bank and up to the top corner where the rope is, where I've shown you before. We only really go up as far as this corner point anyway, as that's off bounds just to bailiffs and committee members, etc, etc. Not seeing signs of much going on there. Not much really cloudy colour. It's quite clear, that water. so nothing's been stirring up the bottom really too much that I can see. That's where we'll be going. Ooh. I didn't fall. Is where I had the 26.2. Literally, there's a tree that grows up over there, and I was side casting 9-foot scope right under the tree there. It's sort of about 3 foot of water, 2.5, 3 foot of water, and that's where it came from. Fish just side flanked me the whole way in, fought in the deeper water below the tip, and then eventually gave itself up. And that was a proud moment. I didn't even think the fish was as big as what it was. Folks, I'll just show you. Inside here we have the sign-in book. And for anyone that's superstitious, sometimes I look across the names and down the comments, and whoever has had a fish, I look at the equipment number that they've taken out. We're going to get an unhooking mat, we're going to get a sling, and we're going to get a net, and that's all provided here for fish safety. Just the same as the last time, I've got the Zest Specials in 12mm, and they are drilled out with a bit of 6mm cork. And again, the Pineapple Specials as well, exactly the same. And if you remember in the last video, the Pineapple Special was the one that worked and actually got me the run. And I also did get a run from a trout on the Zest Special as well. So those are what are being fished over a bed of the versatile boilie, which I've crumbed up in the crusher. So those are going to go out onto the spot. I've picked 2 spots on the far margin, several reasons for that. Fish are coming off that spot. As it gets into the warmer spring days, as you can see, today's glorious, you'll find that the fish will push in more to the shallows. Plus, I have been everybody's nightmare, even though I'm here on my own so far, putting the bivvy in with a bivvy mallet, so I've sent everything elsewhere, even though I've been quite quiet doing that, because the last thing I want to do is hammer the whole side of the bank and scare every fish known to man away. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the boat out, I am going to get the rods with the bait on it, and we're going to get fishing. Before I headed up for some food there, I nipped over to the garage and got something to eat. I took a walk back up to the rope at the top corner, and there was fizzing like mad, and I must have seen about 5 or 6 carp, round about 7 or 8 pound, and it hemmed and had whether to move. And I came back down, I put the rods back out on the spots that I had already been fishing for about an hour before I went for food, and I was sitting, tossing and turning, thinking should I go, should I not, while I was sitting on the bed chair, and I decided just to stay, but I still felt unsettled. And now a guy has just come up and he's took a walk up there, and fair enough, he's been pre-baiting it, so happy days. And he spotted a few fish just like I did about half an hour before that. It's a warm wind today. The wind was pushing up into that corner. It was a cert that they were going to be there. However, I have seen it where I've been fishing up there 2 or 3 days on a blank with fish feeding, and the guys down here have had them in, because when that temperature drops off, they come into the deeper water and sort of cruise right round this margin. Plus there's a shallow shelf up there, so we'll see what the night brings anyway. But happy days, we're out and we're fishing, so you can't ask for better than that. But I'll keep you updated through the session, and we'll see what's happening. Happy days. You want to behave yourself for the photo? Look, brilliant, big brownie. Thought it was a carp, but absolutely screamed off. But you know what? It gave a good account for itself, and well worth the fight. I'm actually chuffed with it. The colours on this thing are outstanding. I'm literally just going to slip him back into the net, and rather than get the way sling soaked, put him back. Good morning. Come to you on Thursday morning here, first overnight of a 48-hour session. Not very exciting on the carp front. 3 trout in the bag. You'll see one of them in the video. 4 trout runs right through the night. Absolutely plagued by them. The second biggest one on camera. The other 3 were unhooked in the net, and the net tipped and them let go, because the first one with it being out, took a wee bit longer to recover, so I just thought I'd get them straight back into the water as soon as they were hooked and landed. So that sort of brings us to Troutgate from last night. It was a very busy night with those runs, and then this morning, about 6:15, I've been absolutely plagued with ducks lifting the baits because I'm fishing over shallow spots. So I'll need to take a wee sort of rain check about what I'm going to do. Come lunchtime, I think I'm going to reel the rods in, head round to the shop for something to eat, and maybe take a walk up the top corner and see if there's anything else moving. But I haven't really had a good sleep, so I'm going to lie back down, try and rest for another hour or two with the rods being out. Hopefully something materialises, but again, probably early evening into the early hours of the morning is the best chance. But again, it's only 8 o'clock now, so you never know what could happen. But we'll keep you posted throughout the video and see what happens. I've just put another brown trout back. That's number 4 with 6 runs of trout, just wiping out the rods. And my 2 friends, the swans over there, and the multiple amounts of ducks. I can't keep bait in the water. So what I'm looking for is coming off that shallow bank and looking for about 6.5, 7 foot of water. Something nice that it's not too deep for the fish to go down for a feed, but also that I'm not fishing in 20 foot of water. I've got the boat out, I've got the Toslon Echo Sounder there as well, so I'm going to get that into the water and see if we can find a nice spot. And then I will clip the rods up, get them out over to the spot, and we'll be fishing, hopefully a bit of confidence as well. Check that each and every individual bait is critically balanced, because what you don't realise is sometimes they are rolled and there could be more air bubbles inside it, or the pop-up could be a wee bit more denser and therefore float or sink more dependent. You could have more or less cork in it, whatever way you've drilled it out. So with an individual pop-up, always check it, and obviously after you've brought it in, if it's been out a couple of hours, check it again, just in case that pop-up has lost some buoyancy, because obviously it has to absorb water, and the more it absorbs the water, the less buoyant the pop-up becomes. The cork alleviates that in a big sort of way, because if it pops up and it stays well popped up, it will stay out there popped up. In this case anyway, for the ones that I've made, for probably 2 days. If you left it out there, you'd be fine. Obviously with me, I'm impatient, and also I like to make sure that my pop-ups have a good bit of flavour still to them.